Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll talk about securitization and its process. Securitization refers to conversion of illiquid assets into liquid assets. Illiquid assets meaning an asset not easily converted into cash. Liquid asset meaning vice versa of illiquid asset, an asset that can be easily converted into cash. Example, tax refunds, account receivables, marketable securities. So securitization is a process of selling of asset by the person holding them to an intermediary who in turn will break such assets into marketable securities. Now this is a very vague definition. So let's understand this in the form of story. Story of securitization, the process of securitization. So let's assume a borrower is in need of loan. So he approaches the bank. The bank will not provide a loan without any security, right? So a borrower owns a property. He mortgages his property to acquire a loan from the bank. The bank then grants a loan to the borrower against the security. The property which is mortgaged, the bank doesn't possess the entire property. Property's title deeds are stored in the bank. Means when the property is sold, the bank receives the proceeds. The amount received from the sale of an asset, the bank will have first right to recover its principal and interest accruals. The remaining surplus is handed over to the property's owner. Bank has secured its title deeds in its locker. This will continue. If more borrowers approaches the bank for a loan who are ready to mortgage their property, property's title deeds are stored in the bank and the bank will grant loan to these borrowers. So whatever loans the bank has allocated to these borrowers, all these loans are secure loan because behind these loans all this property security is available with bank. The bank which has all the title deeds, legal paper or documents, bank call this as mortgage pool. On backing of these mortgage pool, company has distributed all of its liquid fund to these borrowers in the form of loan. All the cash balances of bank is now shifted to the borrowers. Now bank is left with fixed assets of title deeds which is illiquid in nature. Everything seems good so far now. But the problem is when more borrowers approaches the bank for the loan, the bank runs out of liquidity. There is no cash, no short-term cash. The bank has only long-term cash which is title deeds. Now bank has one simple way. Bank can simply deny all these borrowers saying that we are running short of funds. But this would adversely affect the business of the bank, right? And this is not a feasible solution. So what does the bank do now? Bank will appoint an SPV, special purpose vehicle. It will act as an agent on behalf of the bank. Securitization without SPV is not possible. Now SPV will purchase or take over the mortgage pool which is with bank. In return, SPV will provide liquid asset or cash to the bank for the bank to run its BAU activities. So SPV protects the bank from bankruptcy and insolvency, and SPV will start analyzing the mortgage pool. It analyzes the loans receivable which were actually the loans receivable for the bank, but now SPV has taken over it. They analyze this by splitting up the loan receivable, which loan along with interest at what point of time is receivable. Now SPV will appoint a credit rating agency. The role of this agency is to rate the mortgage pool. Which mortgage has chances of 100% recovery and which mortgage is doubtful of recovery. Now SPV will start issuing the securities, which is bonds, which we call it as securitization. The bonds are created with the backing of securities as mortgage pool. Whosoever will buy this bonds, SPV will give them assurance that the investment is safe because behind this investment there is backing of mortgage pool. The bonds are called mortgage backed securities. Meanwhile, credit rating agencies also created tranches or categories of these bonds, which is triple A rated bond, double A rated bond, single A rated bond. Triple A rated bond is the most secure bond in which there is no risk. The rating decreases, the risk factor arises. The interest on these bonds, the lower will be the interest rate. The better the rating of the bond, the lower will be the interest rate. On lower rating bond, the interest rate offered on this bond will be higher and higher. These are divided into three classes: senior classes, mezzanine class, subordinate class. Depending upon the ratings, it is divided into the classes. Now we find investors lining up to subscribe for this bond. Now, with what assurance do you think the investors are ready to subscribe for this bond? The answer is simple. Their investment is safe as they have mortgage pool. Second opinion is given by credit rating agency. With bond categorization, accordingly interest rate is offered. So investors have flexible opportunity. They have bond with 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, different tenures of bonds, maturity rate, different rating bonds. Investors, as per their needs and risk taking capacity, subscribe to these bonds. Investors offer cash to SPV by the way of subscription of these bonds. SPV, with help of credit rating agency, issues bonds. Investors purchase these bonds and handed over the amount to the SPV. Now, SPV that purchased the mortgage pool from the bank, SPV has yet to pay for that. Now, finally, SPV pays the amount that it has to the bank. Now, the bank, which has illiquid crunch, bank was facing to grant loans to the borrowers who lined up. All these problems gets resolved. In all this process, all the entity has achieved their benefits. Investors that has purchased the bonds assumes that SPV has offered 6 to 7% of interest to the investors. Again, SPV has provided the amount to the bank at 8%, and bank ultimately may provide loan to the borrowers ranging from 10 to 12%. So all the entities have put up the margin of interest rate. Credit rating agency will charge fees for its servicing from SPV. In this whole process of securitization, you will see that investors who are general public, their money is being shifted to borrowers who also represent general public. That means general public money is being circulated in general public. And all these intermediaries such as banks, credit rating agency, SPVs are generating income. So this is the process of securitization. Thank you.